Satan doesn't want me to help people, and he didn't have a clue that my testimony would help set people free. So you might be wondering, how do you develop a condition like this? I collapsed in church 2 years ago. I'm tearing up. Hey! So today's video is gonna be more unscripted, and I'm gonna just try to talk, which we'll see how it goes because I'm not really that much of a talker. So today we're going to be talking about chronic fatigue syndrome, which is a chronic illness, and it's something that I have struggled with, and we're going to be talking about how it affects me. What is chronic fatigue syndrome? CFS is a complex, long-term neurological and immune condition. It causes overwhelming, persistent exhaustion that is not alleviated by rest, fundamentally impacting your ability to carry out everyday activities. Neurological means relating to the nervous system, which includes the brain, spinal cord, and all the nerves in the body. It refers to the anatomy, functions, and disorders of this system, which affects everything you think, feel, and do. The preferred name for CFS for a lot of people is myalgic encephalomyelitis, or ME. Myalgic means widespread muscle pain, encephalo refers to the brain, myel is the spinal cord, and itis is inflammation. So altogether this means that for me, on a daily basis, I experience widespread muscle pain due to inflammation and also brain fog, which affects the way, how fast I can think, decision making, other things like I get lost sometimes, but that's a whole other topic. So you might be wondering, how do you develop a condition like this? So I've been through a lot of traumatic things back to back. Things like bullying, neglect, assault, and abuse. So it's no surprise that I'm ill now. During the time I was going through these things, I was also suffering with crippling anxiety, on top of being a highly sensitive girl. Something that was particularly hard for me was year 10, GCSEs and mocks. It was a truly disgusting time. The amount of pressure that we had put on us was ridiculous. Not to mention the staffing at that school, the teachers were very poor. I was definitely burnt out before I even knew what that actually was. Not having words to describe what you're going through definitely makes things worse. And I was raised in a Caribbean household where mental health was stigmatized. So I didn't get the support I needed before I actually internalized and repressed everything, which then led to chronic illness. Something I strongly believe now is that if you don't take care of your mental health, effects will manifest through your body, and that the body does keep a score of everything you go through. So you might be wondering how I am now. Well, basic tasks are very hard for me, and if I push myself past a sensible limit, I can become housebound or bedbound, which does happen quite frequently, actually. The medical system has failed me. My GP refuses to give me a diagnosis because she's scared of losing her job, when really GPs do have the power to make an independent diagnosis outside of specialists. So she's referred me to chronic fatigue specialists. However, I've been on that waiting list for 12 months already, and when she decided to check how long I had left to wait, it's another 12 months. My GP also didn't pay attention when I told her I collapsed in church 2 years ago. She feels it's appropriate to bring up my age as to why I shouldn't be so ill. And recently I went to therapy, or I was going to therapy. And that therapist thought it was appropriate to say that I needed to be in full-time work and didn't believe that I already had a job. But you're a Christian, Rihanna. Why did God allow all these bad things to happen to you if He's merciful? I can hear you asking. Well, I'd like to testify that God has been good to me. From a young age, I always felt like He was with me. Before I was properly saved, I always considered myself a Christian, and I could feel His tangible presence. Here are some things He's done for me. 1. I used to have nightmares as a kid. I prayed, and I've never had a nightmare since. In around 2023, I was delivered from crippling anxiety, which affected every area of my life. 3. In 2019, I experienced church hurt through bullying and exclusion by church members, both adults and children. As a result, I had flashbacks every night until around October 2025, where He suddenly took away my suffering. Therefore, I trust God. He hasn't abandoned me. Jesus called me to serve Him from a young age, and to whom much is given, much is required. Luke 12:48. Satan doesn't want me to help people, and he didn't have a clue that my testimony would help set people free. If he did, he would have never bothered to hurt me. He expects us to turn away from God, but now I can relate to a lot of people through my experiences and give them useful advice based on what I've been through. I do this through this YouTube channel, and I've been doing it from a young age in real life with friends and people I'm not even friends with anymore. I've seen people's perspectives and mindsets shift through me telling them advice based off of my life. Literally going through the same things as other hurting people means I'm not giving advice from a clueless place and just breathing out hot air, but it means that I can be compassionate because I know exactly what they mean. And actually, when you think about it, Jesus was the first one to ever do that. Do you know what I mean? Like, actually relate to us humans. He came down from His royal place in heaven, manifested in the flesh, sat around with us, went to parties, healed people, and then eventually gave up His own life on the cross to save us from everything, all sin, sin that was committed by our ancestors. So, there's nothing new under the sun, and Jesus is the original. So whatever persecution I go through, He's already been through that. And if the world hates me, it hated Him first. Lastly, I am slowly getting better. I'm more healthy than I was a few years ago, and I have hope for the future. To round up this video, what do I want to say? Try Jesus, man. I can still smile despite everything I've been through. Obviously, there's still a ways to go in terms of my healing. Obviously, we're still gonna have problems in life, but I believe when the immense stress that I've been under dwindles, then my body will heal. Obviously, being through years of back-to-back stress or incessant problems is gonna have some kind of effect, but I have faith that I will be healed, no doubt about that. And if you're struggling with anything, Jesus can definitely help you with that. I really recommend, if you don't have a Bible, please get a Bible and read John. Start from John. It's so beautiful. I cried after reading it. I'm tearing up. But yeah, I hope this video helped you, and I love you so much.